Hi, I'm Cathi Coridan, KW Metro Center. I'm a licensed realtor in Virginia and DC. I'm a senior real estate specialist, and I'm a certified professional coach. In all of those capacities, I want to be your transition partner to help make life's transitions less stressful and more successful. And I wanted to do a little bit of an introduction to my kitchen table conversations. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, and typically in normal times, I'd have the ability to sit at your kitchen table, or maybe I would be at a party in someone's home with you, sitting at a kitchen table or sitting on the couch. I would be in a coffee house. I would be in a meeting. I'd be at Rotary. I'd be at a chamber event. And we'd be able to sit down and have this conversation, and people would say to me, tell me a little bit about why you got into real estate and why you like it so much. And so I'm taking this opportunity with my kitchen table conversations to have that little bit of introduction of who I am and why I do what I do and how I do what I do. When I am involved with someone in what can be a months-long process of making a decision to sell a home or to buy a new home and looking for them and getting the house ready and all the pieces that go into it, I become part of your story. And that's really important to me because I want to be a good part of your story. I say that as your transition partner, part of my role in making things less stressful and more successful is to connect the dots. So that's why I wore the sweater to do this particular of the video series, and to journey with you as you move through into a new part of your life. When I work with folks, 2 or 3 weeks after the real estate transaction is concluded, and I sometimes call folks and say, I really miss you because we were so much a part of each other's lives and so intensely connected for that period of time that it feels really odd to be kind of separated a little bit. And it allows me to then make sure that everything went okay and that there aren't any residual pieces that I can help them resolve or get resources for. One of the reasons, and people say, how did you get into real estate? And I'm going to go into that in a minute. But my background is in nonprofits and in kid and human services, family-based nonprofits. I worked since college in juvenile justice, in mental health, drug abuse. I then moved into a more national scope with that and worked with national organizations here in the DC area, dealing with policy and quality program development. Went back to working in the direct service in running a child welfare agency, and then worked for a time after that doing fund development for child-focused, youth-focused nonprofits. And in all of my work there, the focus is always on the mission. What is special about the mission? How does the mission get accomplished? How do the organizations innovate and put themselves in a position where they can get the resources to provide the best services to the people at high need? And when I made the transition into real estate, I really struggled with how do I kind of move that commitment to mission into my work with individuals that are buying and selling homes. And I do it in part by lessons that I learned when I was in nonprofit leadership. By strategy and grit and making a really good case statement. The strategy and grit was, I worked from 2008 through 2016, the economy was in a tumble, and to get the resources and ongoing resources to meet the needs of underserved kids, I really had to create a case statement for the organization that was compelling, that told the story, and that made a case for giving money or other resources to that nonprofit. And so as I work with folks that are moving through transitions in their lives, I think that's oftentimes in a competitive buyer's market where we are now. It's a seller's market, so it's very competitive for buyers. Part of it is that I make a compelling case for why my client's offer should be the one that's accepted. And I look at all the nuances and look at what is the best outcome for everyone and think from the seller side as well as the buyer side, so I can anticipate what might work best. And a lot of communication. When I'm getting a house ready to go on the market, I'm making a case as to why it should sell quickly for the most money. And so I know how to kind of pull those elements together and to have both the grit and determination as well as the strategy to be able to position a house or a buyer to be at the best place in the market and to understand the market that I'm working in order to really give quality advice and direction and consultation to my clients, so that I am very localized and very much looking at what's going on in that neighborhood at that time and dig deep and know and be able to back up people's ideas about what should happen with facts that support it. So my work in the nonprofit sector translated very easily. And one of the things that I like, and I usually introduce myself this way, is that I started studying for my real estate course the same week I got my Medicare card in the mail. I was in a nonprofit leadership role and it came to its end. And I said, what's next? I'm not ready to stop. I'm one of those seniors that's not ready to quit. And I come from a real estate family. My mother's a residential realtor. My father, an industrial and commercial realtor. My brother is the commercial broker for Keller Williams brokerage in Columbus, Ohio suburbs. And my niece is with a expansion brokerage in KW in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm from a real estate family. My cousins are realtors and developers. This is just something that I've grown up with. I helped my mother with open houses when I was in college. Now that's all the HGTV part of it. And so I understand, because I lived through family ups and downs of the economies, I understand the business part of real estate as well. It took me about 2 years to get into the top producers, and I've stayed there and I'm really happy there. And I don't have any grand plans for two reasons: to grow really huge and go really far. First, you heard me say that I started doing the studying the same week I got my Medicare card. I'm not in this for a really long period of time. I'm going to dig deep and do really good now and where I am with what I have. And to do that is to provide the best service and the best quality. I think if you listen to or watch the video that I have on my teams, I think you'll understand that I have gotten where I am in terms of top producer and leadership because of the quality of relationships that I've built. When I talk about connecting the dots, and I've talked about work, I have some work that I've done previously in nonprofit organizational development, and it's always about connected relationships. And that's the other piece that I bring into real estate, is it's really about connected relationships. I also have a commitment to my personal growth and lifelong learning. I take courses all the time. I do professional development all the time, way beyond the continuing education required in a very highly regulated industry. Real estate is all about understanding legally binding contracts and being the fiduciary for my clients. And I take that extraordinarily seriously. I want to wrap it up because I may be chatty Cathy, but you don't need to hear this forever, is that I think I bring strategy with grit. I really do have a lot of grit and determination, and I will do whatever I have to do to get something done. I bring the expertise, and behind me I have the entire KW family and resources and team members of that can get me whatever the best information and knowledge is that I can then support my clients. And I do it with a layer of caring because, like I said at the beginning, I'm walking on this journey with you. I want to be a good part of your story. I want to give you what you need to make sure that not just it's less stress and more success, but it's done with quality and it's done with integrity. And so I would love to work with you as your transition partner. I would love, if you're a senior that's thinking of moving, I love working with seniors, but I also love working with buyers, and I like working with folks that are just buying up and getting into the next level of house. I love the hunt. I love being the listing agent. It's a great match for me to be a realtor, and I would like to have it be a great match for you. The best way to find me is through email. My email is ccatkw, Cathi Coridan at Keller Williams, ccatkw@gmail.com. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer them. Sitting around your kitchen table, I would bring my mask. We'd sit 6 feet apart, and I would be able to then unpack and help you find the way to make this transition time in your life less stressful and more successful. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. It's an important time for us to take care of ourselves and each other. Stay healthy and stay safe. Thanks.